Welcome guys, and today I will show you how to open up a document in Adobe Illustrator and how to create a character head. So let's get started by creating a new document. I usually like to work with a screen resolution, so let's choose Web Large 1920 by 1080 and simply click this icon. So first let's go over here first of all, and then let's deselect the stroke color by simply clicking this none icon. And then for our color, let's go ahead and double this fill icon right here. And now you can choose whichever sort of skin tone you want for your character. If you already know your color code, you can also type that in right here. So I have chosen this color code F8C5A6. And now let's press OK. So one of the simplest way to create a character in Adobe Illustrator is to use geometric forms. And most of these shapes are available through this button right here, the rectangle tool. So if we simply click this icon right here, we are able to create rectangles just like so. And if you want to go ahead and select more shapes, you can right click this icon right here, and then you can choose some other shapes. But for now, we are going to work with the rectangle tool. And again, the easiest way to use this tool is to simply click and drag just like so. Then press V to deselect it, and we've got our first shape. Now in order to control the amount of curve we need for the corners, we can select the whole shape and then click and drag like this. And there's our face. Right, now let's draw another smaller one for the ears. So something like this. Press A and then click and drag. Alright, let's copy the shape, hold Shift, Option together, and then click and drag. Then hold Shift again, and then let's put these into place just like so. Alright, so another character, another illustration, which is pretty easy to improve. So we've got this guy here, and all the shapes are pretty easy to make. So basically, you simply press M on your keyboard, and then you can create shapes like this with just a mouse click. And now let me show you how to improve this illustration. So as you can see, we've got one color here. So what we've done is to add some more color for the arms, for the legs, and also we've added a small pocket right here. Alright, and now as you can see, we've added some details here and here. The other thing that I have done is to change the color for the arms. It's the same color, it's the green color, but it's a darker version. Right, and next, as you can see, the magic happens now. We've added shadows, and shadows are extremely important. Alright, and here comes the biggest change, highlights. Look at this. This is the same illustration, but we've added highlights, shadows, details, and that's so easy to make. If you want, I will show you again how I do illustrations. So I start with simple lines and I try to get an idea in my head of what I would like to create. While doing that, I get ideas for more elements that I would like to add. So I add these elements without any color at all. Then I even add more elements. So this stuff is usually happening while I create illustrations. And here comes the color. It's still looking pretty dull, but wait for the next step. Right here, as you can see, it looks much better. And the secret for this illustration style are shadows. As you can see, I've got shadows right here, here, and I have added them all over the place. And then in the end, we add highlights. As you can see, I've added highlights right here to the leaves as well, pretty much everywhere. And this is what makes a beautiful illustration. And to build this Japanese house right here. So as you can see, I've got these lines right here, and creating these lines is pretty easy. The only thing you need to do is to use your shape tool and then click and drag, and then you will get lines like these. Alright, but for now, let's delete those. Let's add more details. So as you can see, this looks pretty chaotic, but no worries. We are going to create a beautiful illustration out of that. So what I did is to add a lot of details like this lamp, some flowers, and this utility pole right here. So the next step is to add colors. And there you go, looking much better as you can see, but it's still very dull, right? So we are going to do the magic, and now we are going to add shadows. Now look at this. This illustration is way more powerful than before just because of the shadows. So always use shadows when you create illustrations. The next step is to add highlights. And that's it. I've added highlights right here, here, and as you can see, pretty much all over the place. And that's the final and finished illustration. Here's how to create a character in Adobe Illustrator. First we start with simple shapes, and creating these shapes is very easy. The only thing you need to do is to select the shape tool and then click and drag until you get a shape like this. So I have created these 4 shapes, and now let's put them together to create the character head. And here's how the character head looks like after adding all the shapes together. As you can see, this is a pretty easy thing to do. So next, let's add the body. So as you can see, I've added the ears and the body, and next, let's add some face details. So here are the eyes, the mouth and the nose, and as you can see, I've added also some earrings because this is going to be a female character. Next, let's add some color. And as you can see, this already looks much better, so I've added some details and some color to the clothes of this character. The next step is to add hair. And there you go, I've added some hair, but the character is still looking pretty dull. So the next thing to do is to add, as always, shadows. And this is going to be big. As you can see, this looks way better than before, because as always, shadows make the difference. The next step is to add highlights. And that's it, that's our character. I've added highlights and now it is done. Follow for more illustrations. Alright, today I am going to show you again how easy it is to create illustrations. So I've got this guy here, and these are basic shapes which you can create very easily with pretty much every vector-based program. Creating these shapes is so easy. The only thing you do is to create a rectangle and then you click and drag until you get rounded corners. But now let's delete this. Let me show you how to create a perfect illustration from this guy right here. So the first thing I did is to add these shapes together until we get a complete character, just like so. And then I've added these glasses here. Okay, next comes the color. So I've added a blue color to the legs, a orange color to the body, and then I've changed a few of these elements to a darker blue. Next thing is to add some details. So I've added some details right here, and some body hair right there, and also some face details. So as you can see, this is the illustration with shadows. As I always say, shadows are incredibly important. And in the end, we've got this illustration right here. I've added highlights. Highlights are one of the most important parts of every illustration. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you like more tips, make sure to subscribe. If you would like to download this illustration and use it completely for free, head over to Google, type in Lukasz Adam Illustrations, and then click this free illustration page right here. As you can see, you have tons of illustrations which you can download, use completely for free for commercial, personal projects,